Hope you're all doing great. My name is Shamsul Gohri, and today I'm going to be talking about design patterns. So get ready. So today we're going to be talking about the singleton. The singleton is a creational design pattern. Creational design patterns aim to create objects in a manner suitable for a specific problem. So what is the singleton pattern? The singleton pattern is a solution to a problem. And in that problem, we want to ensure that a class has only one instance and a global point of access to that instance. And we want to make sure that we can control concurrent access to a shared resource. For example, like a database. So how about a real case analogy? We're going to imagine a small town with one post office, and all residents in that town can send and receive messages through that post office. And that post office offers a single point of access to the entire town. So how does this resemble a singleton? Well, single instance. Just like there's only one post office in the town, the singleton pattern ensures that there are only one instance of a particular class throughout the application. Global access. Residents can access the post office from anywhere in the town. Similarly, the singleton instance can be accessed from anywhere within the application. Controlled access. The post office has rules and regulations that the residents must follow in order to send and receive mail. The singleton pattern often includes a mechanism to control how instance can be accessed and used. The pattern addresses two key issues. We've talked about them before, but we're going to highlight them now. The first issue is that it ensures a single instance of that class throughout the application. And we can access that class from anywhere inside our application, which ensures a global access point to that instance. Okay, so let's take an example. If we have a database connection, having multiple instances of that could lead to multiple connections being opened at the same time, which is inefficient and potentially problematic. So with a singleton, we can ensure that there's only one connection to the database. So how is it done? Well, here's how it works. Imagine that you create an object, but after a while decide to create a new one. Instead of receiving a fresh object, you'll get the one you already created before. So how is this done code-wise? Well, it can be done by two common steps. First step is using a private constructor. This guarantees that no one will be able to create a new instance using the new operator. The second point is static creation method. So we use a static method that acts as a constructor and call it when we want an instance of that class. So in this slide, we'll get a more clear understanding of how is it done. So the structure of the singleton pattern. Here we can see that we have a client, and that client wants an instance of the singleton pattern. So it calls the static method getInstance that we talked about before. The getInstance method basically does a simple check. Is this the first instance created or not? If it is, then call the private constructor. If it isn't, then just return the old instance that we created before. So that's basically how a singleton is made or done. So let's take an example to deepen our understanding of the singleton pattern. And I'm sure after this example, we're all going to be able to make our own implementation of the singleton pattern. So in this scenario, we have a logger class, and this logger should only have one instance for logging purposes. This is done by 4 steps. First, we have the static point instance that holds the single instance of the class. Then we have a private constructor that prevents any instantiation from outside the class. Then we have the getInstance method that checks if the instance exists or not. If it doesn't, it creates one and returns the same instance for every call. Here, we made sure that we made a singleton pattern. Just one extra point of detail. If our application is multi-threaded, we want our getInstance method to be thread safe. We can use a mutex to ensure that only one thread is allowed to create an instance at a time. This will prevent race conditions where multiple threads try to create multiple instances simultaneously. So we use a mutex and we lock the mutex when we call the getInstance method to ensure that there are no race conditions that occur. And this is how we tackle multi-threaded applications, and we ensure that our singleton performs the best in all cases. Let's quickly mention the advantages and disadvantages of the singleton pattern. In the advantage, we ensure that there's only a single instance, which is ideal for shared resources like logging, configurations, and databases. Lazy initialization, as it creates instance only when needed, optimizing memory and performance. Controlled access ensures centralized control over object creation. And global access because we can access it from anywhere inside our application. Cross-subsystem coordination. Well, this just means that it facilitates coordination across subsystems because we can use a shared resource. Disadvantages. Difficult testing due to the global state, hidden dependencies. Global access can lead to tight coupling and hidden dependency. Concurrency issues. Improper implementation may cause race conditions in multi-threaded environments. It's difficult to extend. Singleton is restrictive and hard to subclass or modify. It violates SRP, the single responsibility principle. Memory bloat because the single instance persists throughout the application's lifetime, potentially wasting memory. Here we can see all the design patterns that exist. We talked about the singleton pattern, which is the first of the creational design patterns. Hopefully we'll be going through all of the design patterns in the future videos. Stay tuned and hopefully you learned something new today. That's it for now. Keep tuned to learn more on design patterns, as we're just getting started and it's going to get more interesting. I hope I was helpful today and you learned something new. If so, please let me know to make my day. Thank you and bye.